All right, so we are going to be making a chip and dip. So start by wedging your clay, getting all the air bubbles out. I'm starting with about 5 pounds. I would not do less than 4 because otherwise your chip and dip will lose its function. And you want to make sure that what you're making is functional. So once that clay is wedged, make sure everything gets centered. So this is kind of 2 pots in one kind of thing, where you're going to take it and kind of make like a plate-ish kind of thing and have a small bowl in the center of the plate and like a cylinder, almost dog bowl-ish thing on the end. So you can flatten your clay just like with a plate. You can use your hand like this. You could use a big sponge and push down. You could also use the rolling pin. I feel like most of y'all will use the rolling pin because you were very successful with that with your plates. So I'm going to demo that as well. You're going to push your clay down until it's about 2 inches. All right, so we got about 2 inches. You're gonna determine the width of your bowl. I would say about 2 to 3 inches in diameter is what you want your bowl. So to do that, you're gonna kind of separate your splash pan a little, just so you have room for this if you want to use this. If you don't want to and you just want to push down the clay with your sponge, you do not need to separate your splash pan. I'm going to take your little trusty thing, kind of see this line that I'm kind of drawing with this, kind of planning how thick I want that, and then I'm going to start pushing this down. If I want to add more water, I can add more water if I feel friction. And I'm going to push this other part down about 1 inch. So this is about 1 inch thick here and 2 inches here. So it looks like a crazy little sombrero. Put my splash pan back together because, believe it or not, I don't want to get dirty. You have dirty hands, you might want to clean that up so your pants don't get dirty. So after I have my little sombrero, I'm going to pay attention to this little section in the middle. Make sure that's still on center. It is. And then I'm going to just open that up. And I'm going to use this, and I'm just going to focus on this little section and make a bowl for your chip and dip. Widen the base. Press the bottom. When you push down on the center of this, you want the thickness of this to be the same as over here. Push that clay into the center to compress that down. And then we're going to pull up the sides for the walls of your bowl, for the dip bowl. Compress your lip and repeat. If we need to go in a little bit, just press in on the plate side, that's all right. We started with 1 inch, so we should have plenty of clay. Pull this out into more of a bowl shape, less of a cylinder shape. Compress that lip. If at this point you need to trim your lip, get your needle tool and do that. Mine is pretty level, so I'm going to leave it as is so I can maximize my use of clay. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to treat the rest of this like a plate. Make sure that everything is nice and level, so if I need to press this clay back in, I can do that. There we go. I'm feeling like it's nice. I can also get my metal bit to make sure that's nice and flat. Don't want to use my metal rib on this bowl at all. Do that before you start messing with the play portion. Okay? I'm going to take my wooden modeling tool and go into the side to separate that clay from the back. I'm going to get my sponge, get it nice and damp, wrap my finger around it, and shove that finger into the side. You can see that that lifts that side up, and I am going to start pulling the walls. When you pull the walls of the chip section, you want to make sure that the height of your bowl and the height of this larger bowl are the same height. If this is higher, then it's going to be very difficult to trim because it will not sit level. So you want to make sure, if anything, that this outer edge is higher than your bowl. But you're going to push that clay in, squeeze the thickness, and pull that up so that is the case. There we go. Now that is higher than my inside bowl. If I use this, I can kind of check and make sure that this isn't rocking. Clean up my edge. Use my wooden modeling tool to trim up this edge. Clean up what I want to, what I feel like I need to. I'm just going to curve this a little bit more. Just those finishing touches so everything looks nice. Make sure all your little lines are out. After you feel like everything is how you want it, that this is not taller, let's double check that. Oh, it's a little taller now where I curved that. So I can press that down a little. Up. Where I worked on that curve, it kind of shortened it. We don't want that. So I'm going to lift that curve a little bit more as I kind of lengthen that height. Alright. Use this again to double check. There we go. That's what I want. Smooth this out one more time. Use my sponge. The edges. And then get my string. Up that wire tool and cut that off the bat. When you pop up your bat, make sure that you leave this on the bat to dry slowly, and then we'll flip it over and you can trim it with a raised foot or a flat foot.